What is good, Ninja? OG over here from Player Essence, and welcome to another PE Nintendo Switch and gaming news video. Today, we've got some great information for you guys. Like always, let's go ahead and get right into it. Catherine full body. We've got the first details and screenshots, and it looks like Atlus is literally going for controversial shock value. Oh my gosh, this game actually did that, and they do not care. Honestly, they're actually advertising that. So meet Rin, Vincent, Catherine, and Catherine. So Atlus and Studio Zero have released the first official information and screenshots of Catherine full body following the debut of its first trailer late last week. We got the first details here, and we're gonna go over some of the key information, guys, as far as what this game is about. Obviously, it's a 2011 remade PS3 and Xbox 360 title, and it won many awards and shipped over 1 million units worldwide. The game is based on the theme of juvenile adults attracted with many users with its original story and all sorts of things like that was in Catherine. It's weird puzzle gameplay. So let's talk about the definitive edition of Catherine in terms of that, and there's plenty of screenshots and more information linked in the description below, but if I went over everything, it would take quite some time. So this is the definitive version of Catherine, guys. So good news for players who were not fond of the puzzle genre when the original version of Catherine was released. Like myself, in Catherine full body, functionality related to improving playability has been drastically enhanced to allow anyone to play Catherine until the end. Through groundbreaking systems unheard of in a puzzle action game, anyone will be able to enjoy the game from start to finish. For players who want to enjoy and master even deeper puzzle action, Catherine Full Body also offers a new mode with bold arrangements in addition to the original mode, which includes the same puzzle stages from the original version of Catherine. And through convincing feedback, the 2 times more delicious definitive edition of Catherine will also offer new experiences to fans of frequently dying in video games, and even to players who played the original version of Catherine. Players who are good at puzzles and action, and players who are not good at puzzles, like myself. With drastically improved playability, Catherine Full Body is a definitive edition of Catherine in every possible way. So they're really trying to make sure that anybody can play this game and really just experience the story, because believe it or not, like, the puzzle stuff is to make you almost feel guilty, I guess, about what Vincent has done in terms of the cheating and everything. So those were meant to be hard. They were meant to be not necessarily as fun. I mean, for some people who love puzzles, yeah, but there are some like mind-numbing, like really hard puzzles in this game, and just some stuff that you just want to like throw your controller at times from what I've played. And the whole thing is to get to the story. It's to make you feel pain for what you've done and the agony that he's going through, and that's the reason why it's the way that it is. And I think that with this one here, what they're trying to do is make people experience the story, because the story is what you want to see. You want to make it past one thing to another just to see what happens. It's almost like a visual novel in some sense, but of course a little bit more hands-on because it's an actual game. But the main things with this is the puzzles, but of course you have the puzzle gameplay to play. Now they've added in a brand new character, Rin, and she is hired as a pianist at the bar that they always drink at, and apparently she's transgender in some way, or she's trans in some way. Now we still need a few more details based on what they've showed off here, but it definitely looks that way. So in my opinion, that makes it like how unique the story is, because now you add in a whole nother person as far as love interest to Vincent. It just completely changes things to the point to where I need to play this game now. Before I was just like, okay, well, we'll see what happens, but now I'm like, okay, now I want to play this game, because it looks like it's going to be absolutely crazy in terms of the story and all the different characters and everything in there. Now Catherine Full Body is due out for the PlayStation 4 and PS Vita next winter in Japan, and a Western release has also been announced, but platforms and release window has yet to be confirmed. So guys, next winter could theoretically be 2019. So this game still might not be ready for another year plus, because next winter can go into actual past next year. It could be January, it could be February. I forgot when winter actually ends, but yeah, it can definitely be 2019. And guys, looking at the sales here, guys, I doubt there's going to be a PS Vita version released in the West, but that is just my opinion on the matter. I just don't think they're going to go through that unless it's just like a digital only. I honestly feel they're going to add on another other platform, and it's going to be the Nintendo Switch because of the amount of time that's there. But then again, like I said, I might be completely wrong on that one, but I just think that's way too much time, and the PS Vita is a dying system, and by the time that this game even launches in Japan, the Nintendo Switch will have lapped the PS Vita quite considerably in terms of sales. So we'll see what happens in terms of that. But overall, what do you guys think about Captain Full Body in terms of what they're doing with the game? Are you into puzzle games? Are you going to be playing it on original mode? Or are you going to be playing the new easy mode to where you can kind of get through and experience the story? Or you just don't care about this game at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the next article here, I recently talked about some of the Famitsu end of year statements from the game developers out there, and Capcom's Motohide Ishido had a lot to say when it comes to the Ace Attorney franchise, and of course a brand new game as well. So let's go ahead and get into what he had to say to Famitsu. In 2018, I'd like to continue thinking of preparations to make all Ace Attorney fans glad. We're also planning a new title, so personally I think this may be a challenging year. So that is great to see. What we do know from Capcom is that they said that they're going to have Ace Attorney games ready for the Nintendo Switch in 2018. I think from April or so after that, there's going to be a release of Ace Attorney games, so we can expect it from April 2018 and sometime throughout the rest of the year. And there's also going to be new games Capcom has stated, and this might be one of them. The Ace Attorney game is planned for the Nintendo Switch at this point. We don't know any other platforms, but maybe they're making a brand new game as well, I would expect, for the Nintendo Switch too, just because Capcom has already stated that they're going to be bringing more titles to the Switch. So far, it's been so back and forth with Capcom and Nintendo in terms of what fans think of them. I've always known what Capcom is going to do. Just like a lot of other companies, they didn't think the Nintendo Switch was going to be successful, so they didn't plan all their games, and they're desperately trying to piece together games to put on the Nintendo Switch. Monster Hunter Double Cross was the first attempt at that, and then going on past that, they added on Mega Man. Of course, they have the Street Fighter Collection game coming out, and there's going to be more games from Capcom coming to Nintendo Switch. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, I felt that was planned just because of how the ports turned out, but overall, I think that they've done an okay job in the first 9 months on the Nintendo Switch. I think they have 4 games. If you count the double pack, Monster Hunter Double Cross didn't come over to the US, but then you also have Street Fighter as well, so 3 games that pretty much everywhere you can play. Not bad at all for the first 9 months, especially compared to the PS4 and Xbox One. So what do you guys think about this brand new Capcom game in Ace Attorney? Are you guys excited for that on the Nintendo Switch? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the next article here, we have a report from the Wall Street Journal. Takahashi Mochizuki, fantastic dude, he's really cool. Make sure you go follow him on Twitter, and he stated that Nintendo has delayed the rollout of the 64GB Nintendo Switch game cards until 2019. And apparently there was a company that was expecting to have that 64GB card, but that was upset that they weren't going to be able to have it because they were planning to release their Nintendo Switch game with the 64GB card. So let's go ahead and get into more of the specifics as far as what he had to say here. So Nintendo had planned to make the 64GB card available to partner developers in the second half of 2018, but recently told them that it would push the date back to 2019 owing to technical issues, according to people with direct knowledge of the discussion. So this is also somewhat of a rumor, guys. They said the notice disappointed some software makers, especially US-based publishers that often produce data-heavy games. Those publishers may wait for the 64GB card to release those kinds of games for the Nintendo Switch. Some leading US publishers have produced only a few titles for the Nintendo Switch so far, although the storage capacity issue is only one of the possible reasons that a publisher would wait. Other reasons may include business ties with rival console makers as well. So it's one of those things to where if this is true, then definitely it's like, okay, yeah, they don't have the 64GB card, but I'm wondering how much we would have to pay for those 64GB cards. Would it be the same price, which I'm guessing? I don't think they would charge more than the $59.99 price tag, so their profit margin would have been a little bit lower. If there was some technical issues, you got to get the technical issues fixed. There's no other way about it. The last thing that you want is to produce a 64GB card and there's failure in the drives, or it's not working properly and it becomes a bad business problem. So if this is true, then it's good that Nintendo delays it, get it ready to go, then release it when it's ready. Although we haven't really seen many developers use 32GB cartridges either, so I would still think that some developers would opt to not use this higher one considering the cost, and a lot of developers might just use a 32GB cartridge if those become more affordable. And I also think that even with this happening with the 64GB cartridge, in terms of that having technical issues and being delayed, that could also make the 32GB cartridges cheaper, so we can get a lot more developers using that, because still we only have one game so far that has used the 32GB cartridge. Now all of this is a bit, like I said, rumor. We don't know 100%, but it is a report from Takahashi Mochizuki from the Wall Street Journal. But remember, you can't take it as fact at this point, but it does seem somewhat likely, I guess, considering how few people use the 32GB cartridges. It just seems kind of weird that, oh, well, we wanted 64. It's like, well, where's the 32 at? Every single publisher that I know that's looking at the Nintendo Switch in terms of US-based publishers, I would think that it would be like Take-Two, and they would want to have like Grand Theft Auto on the Switch. I think maybe they're the ones who were maybe upset with that because Grand Theft Auto was a pretty huge game. So maybe that was the issue there. Maybe they have to delay Grand Theft Auto 5 into 2019. But whenever it comes, it comes. I think with the Nintendo Switch, because of the hybrid nature of it, people will buy games later, people will buy games at launch. It just get your game out on there, and it's extra sales for you outside of what you're doing on PS4 and Xbox One. And if you want to make a game for the Nintendo Switch, make a game for the Nintendo Switch, and it'll probably do well too. So we've seen that before, Street Fighter, we've seen it with multiple other games that come out on the Switch. When they release on there, it does well. So I don't really think there's going to be an issue one way or another. Switch business is going to continue on. Nintendo's going to continue with their great games. We're going to continue buying the Nintendo Switch because it's a hybrid device and you can play it anywhere you want. So what do you guys think about this news here in terms of this rumor slash report? I guess it's a little bit of a hybrid. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of Player Essence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon and YouTube live gaming page to consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. But check out the link in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace!